Okay, now today what I want to talk about isn't really specific to any particular academic standard because what I'm going to talk about today has more to do with organizing your learning. Now, when you start looking at how we organize learning, typically we see a student sitting at a desk and they cram all their stuff in their desk and maybe they cram some of it in their backpack and they're always forgetting things when they go home, forgetting things when they come back. Their organization skill is really it's challenging. And with the teacher saying you must organize your desk this way, and with parents saying you must organize your backpack this way, or having teachers and parents never really saying you should organize in any specific way, it makes it really challenging to keep track of your learning. And when I'm talking about self-directed learning, being able to keep track of your learning is important. It's a very important skill that sort of transcends academics. It's not just an academic related skill set. So what I want to look at is how are you organizing your learning? Because when you start exploring in different standards, when you start looking at sixth grade math standards and language arts standards and connecting fifth grade to seventh grade and start really digging in, your mind maps and your brainstorms are going to be pretty wild. Your SMART goals are going to start building up on each other, and it's going to be hard to keep track of this stuff. So at this point, you're going to start seeing how needing an organizational approach that works for you is going to be very, very important. So what I want to look at is a really, really clever way of organizing. It's from a source you can look up called Clutterbug. They're all about organizing, decorating, do-it-yourselfing, all right? And so if you look that up, you're going to find a really, really nice lady who's in charge of this, and she came up with a really great way of seeing how we all organize things differently, and that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and work through a couple of different ideas that I want you to consider as you continue learning and exploring and tracking your own progress. There's an open style of organization that is very much different than somebody who may be preferring a hidden organizational style. Now, open may be a little too open of a word to use, but in comparison to a hidden approach, those that prefer binders, if you really like using binders, if you really like using closed boxes and bins, if you like hiding your items in little areas and cubbies, you're probably going to be more on this end. But we all know sometimes there are people we know that like to see stacked papers out in the open. We like to have open drawers and cubbies, right? So there's very much a distinct difference between one type of organization and another. Now, if you're somebody who either really prefers a hidden approach or have been told for so many years that this is the approach you must use, whether or not you're good at it, this is often seen as organized, or this is often seen as messy. And what I like about this Clutterbug approach is they're both effective if done with intention and done purposefully in a way that makes sense. But then there's one more aspect. There's a way of looking at this that is a more macro style. So if you are very much an open organizer or a hidden organizer, you might be somebody where every place has an item. So all of the different parts of your classroom or all of the different parts of your home is designating a very, very specific type of item. All right, very big picture stuff. This is great for people that have an open setting, an open approach. So if you like all your stacked papers, you like all of your open drawers, you might just have a bin where you put all of the similar items in one place where you can see them all. Now, people that like it hidden, this takes a particular approach that is very, not a lot of people see. That's when you have binder type approaches to organizing, but then you have them displayed on the wall. So everything has its place. You can cover things up, but it's having everything in one place. That's compared to the other side of this organizing structure, where it's focused on the micro. And the idea behind the micro is that every item has its place. Now, there's a lot of people that have their closed boxes and their binders, and they know that this pencil goes in this pencil box. Well, there's a lot of people that may fall into this category, and a lot of people that may fall into this category. But it's important to understand that if you're not one of these people, if maybe you are one of these people, maybe you want every item in its place, but you want to be able to see it. And maybe you are in this place, where you want things hidden, but you want every place to have its item organized. So there's examples of this from the person that runs this Clutterbug. I think her name is Cassandra. Clutterbug.me. You're going to want to look at this, because the point is, however it is that you approach your organizing, no matter how it is that you're going to look at brainstorming, whether you're going to put this in a binder, whether you're going to put this in a stack, whether you're going to put it on wall folders along the wall, if you're going to, however it is that you organize your learning, it's going to be, or digitally, it's going to be really important, especially digitally, if you have all of your items on your desktop that you can see them all, or if you would prefer to have very specific folders all lined up. Make sure that you're coaching not just yourself on how to organize in ways that work for you, be mindful of that, but when you're coaching children, make sure that you are seeing their preference for organizing and having them reflect on whether or not it's worth their time to put it away. Take the time to put it away in its place, because if not, then they're going to have to take that same amount of time to find wherever they put that item. So they're either going to take the time to put it away, or they're going to have to take the time to find it. So recognizing what preference your student or your child has to organizing, making sure that they're reflecting on the fact that, I can't find it. Well, I know, that's just how we organized things. We could learn to take our time and put things away. That would save us from having to stress out about finding it if that's not comfortable for you. So that's what I mean. Coaching students, coaching children, and recognizing their own organizational style will avoid making them feel bad about which organizational strategy they think you are wanting them to apply, and instead coaching them in deciding which one works for them, which one allows them to keep track of their learning, so that they can focus more on brainstorming, setting goals, and not being overwhelmed with the organizational approach. Don't let them think they're bad at math because their organizational strategy hasn't been honed. So that is definitely an important part of becoming a self-directed learner.